Hi, welcome back. So in this tutorial we're going to show how to use the groupings tab. So let's begin with associating these meetings 1, 2 and 3 into the same session. So if we click on groupings, we can now go to session and we could create this as Monday 10 a.m. We could use the word session, but I'd just call it as Monday 10 a.m. And perhaps we want another one as well, which is Monday afternoon or Monday 1500 session. Not very consistent. Maybe I should have called that 3 p.m. And these will be listed in the app if you've enabled the sessions category. You'll need to speak to Azot to make sure that you want the various sections enabled or not. But if we have, so you'll get a button which will be able to say show me sessions, and the user will be prompted with 10 a.m. and Monday 3 p.m. Now to assign the agenda items to that, all we do is go back to agenda items, select the appropriate agenda item like meeting 1, and we can now click edit page, and you'll see that sessions has now appeared in this, and we can actually just touch which radio checkbox, which session that talk is part of. Now an agenda item can only be part of one session at a time. If you want to make it so it's associated to many things, you're probably looking more for tracks. So let me go through and press, let's just do one more. So we'll go back to, say, the agenda items here. We'll go to meeting 2. This time I'm going to use the shortcut of the button here to assign it to a new session. So let's put it again Monday 10 a.m. So all of these are Monday 10 a.m. sessions. Save. And finally we'll go back to the grouping. So now we can we've got all of our talks happening at Monday 10 a.m. If a talk hasn't been added to a session, it won't show up in the sessions list. So it's important that if you are using sessions, each agenda item is associated to a session. If you're doing things like coffee breaks and so forth, obviously don't assign those to a session. So unless of course you do want to highlight those, I should say. So the sessions are completed. Next we want to do a track. So let's do a track which is, perhaps this one is the business track. Press next, and we can have subcategories or a little thumbnail icon that we want to display in the list, for instance. So we could do browse and upload, and let's insert a new image for this. So here we're just going to use another star icon perhaps for this one for businesses. Press OK and insert image, and that should allow you to have a nice icon per track. If you go to save it, it'll probably complain because we haven't filled in an image title. Again, this is just for our own sanity in the database. It won't actually appear in the app itself, so let's just call this business track image. Fantastic. So if you wanted a subcategory as well, you could have business tracks for CEOs, business tracks for sales, business track for marketing, so forth. For the moment, I would just concentrate on using a track per a unique track for each item. So try not to have more than 10 tracks, but otherwise it becomes a bit overwhelming for users. Once we have the track set up, we can now go back to our agenda items, and again we could say meeting 1, click on that, is for businesses, and you'll see that we now have tracks as a tickable box. So we have business there, for instance. If we wanted to have another track, let's go back to groupings and add a new track, and this time we'll call this sales. And we're not going to worry about images this time, just press save, go back to the agenda items, and now for instance we could have meeting 2 is actually it's still in the same session. I can click edit page here, but we'll just try to be consistent and use the button again. On meeting 2, see, it's still part of the same session, but we can actually now assign it to the sales track. So users on the phone can actually search by track rather than just by session. And again, finally on the third one, exactly the same, or perhaps it's both business and sales tracks. So there we go. You can see your tracks are listed down in this column. So that's how to do the track and sessions. The last part would be on how to do the exhibitor grouping, so we'll show that in the next video.